far side wing for Memorial is Jack Carrier. Goes up top. 3-ball on the way. Up and in for the lefty. That's Brandon Scott, the team's leading scorer. 6'3" senior guard who took advantage of the space. Now Memorial looks, well, not a bad crowd tonight here at the Braunstein Gym. As Memorial forces a steal. That one poked away in the lane. Romaraj wants to run. Near side. 3 on the way. And that one is good. It's Brandon Scott again. Got a smooth-looking stroke, Coach.
Absolutely. The southpaw is just not shy about letting it fly from 3 land, and he's quickly 2 for 2.
Yep, he's got all 6 Memorial points. It's a 6-0 Crusader lead. Bulldogs left to right. Memorial now in a matchup zone. Meanwhile, down the lane, rejected by Carter. Little scoop attempt by Brandon Moreno. Meanwhile, it's Hayes who brings it across midcourt left to right. Meanwhile, drive and dish from Kohler down low. Jendrin again missed the layup. Rebound Memorial. Ramaj wants to run. 2-on-2. Drop step down the lane and a finish with the right hand off the glass. Timeout. Coach Elman.
Really pleased with that.
They're back to the 2-2-1 out of the timeout. Bedford does break it, and they get their first layup. To the rim from the near side goes Kohler. The senior finished with the left hand off the window, and Bedford breaks the ice. Now trailing 9-2. Memorial Bedford on the glass as Kohler able to grab it with 2 hands. Bulldogs left to right, trailing 9-2. Down the lane, wild off-balance shot is good off the window. That's the captain, Brian Hughes, the 6'1" senior who got the step.
Yeah, a little look off.
Again, trail 13-4. We move towards 2 minutes. Left to right, they break the press. Down the lane, Hughes, kick far corner 3, up and in. And that is Hughes. Sorry, that one was Moreno to Hughes. And Hughes gets his second bucket. He's got the team high 5 points for Bedford. And it's a 2-possession game again at 13-7. Now Memorial right to left in the half-court set. They go into the post. Romaraj counted and the foul. Another beautiful head fake there to get the defender off his feet. Counted and the bucket as Kohler picks up the personal.
Creating havoc down there for the Crusaders.
Coming about a minute remaining, first quarter. Bedford breaks the trap. They go into the front court. They leave it to Jendrin, and he lays it in easily with the right hand. It was Moreno who was able to split the double team with the dribble.
Yeah.
And got the assist.
Great dribble penetration so far by Moreno most of the night. And finally, Jendrin gets off the snide.
Meanwhile, Rudolph for 3, up and in. Off the screen. A quick catch and shoot from straight away. 20-9. Rudolph with 5. Memorial back up 11. Meanwhile, Jendrin to the rim. Not going to be stopped there. Lays it in with the right hand off the glass. Just too big strong at 6'7".
The big fella showed an ability to put it to the hardwood right there and get to the rim.
Second bucket for the big fella. Meanwhile, it's Scott who goes right at Jendrin and scores with the left hand. Scott already in double figures for Memorial with 10. It's 22-11.
Brandon Scott saying, you can do it, so can I, right there.
20 seconds remaining. As Bedford comes into the front court, they go inside. It's Jendrin near block, and he scores again. It's not Jendrin, but Hayes, the point guard, who slips free at just 5'8", able to score it over the bigger defender. Meanwhile, Brick, they won't get it. Off target to the near side, rebound Bedford. It's Hayes into the front court, and now the Bulldogs take a breath and try and slow things down. Fast pace early on here in the Queen City. Both teams looking to run. Meanwhile, a 3, up and in. Good rotation there to set up Hayes. From straight away, that's got Coach Elmendorf pumping his fist. By the defender, Beal. Gonna go far side with it.
Oh, nice shot right there.
A nice little pull-up. Yep, it was Hughes. He's got 7 for Bedford, a team high. And the Bulldogs, after a slow start, right back in it here, down 2 possessions, 28-22 at the midway point. There for Memorial. Up ahead, Hughes for 3, near wing, too strong. Weak side rebound, tip to Brown. Offensive rebound for Bedford. Now Brown looks to drive, drops it up top. 3 on the way from Hughes, up and in.
Wow.
Well,
here come the Bulldogs, Nick.
Second chance points, and it's a 1-possession game. 28-25. No good. Weak side rebound for Memorial. And now Carrier wants to go all the way, but a little off balance with the lefty layup attempt. Rebound Bedford. They send it down left to right. There's Brown, and there's the left-hand score. Frenetic pace here in Manchester. Bedford, meanwhile, has scored 7 unanswered. They're back within 1 at 28-27. 2.5 to go first half.
Floor.
Come on, Colby.
Memorial on the defensive end in a man-to-man. And they're up against the team foul limit with 6. Meanwhile, Jendrin, a drop step and a beautiful finish with the right hand, the junior. pumps his fists on the way back to the defensive side. His team has scored 9 unanswered, and they're up 1, 29-28, as we move inside of 2 minutes to go second quarter. Where Chris DeTurk and Mike Grinnell will have our Around the State coverage. Meanwhile, Memorial, another steal at midcourt. Rudolph down the lane. There's a collision, and it's going to be a defensive foul against Bedford. Looked like Brandon Moreto tried to draw the charge, but apparently was moving. Produce a block shot. Memorial able to get to it as Santiago is rejected. Now the ball loose at midcourt and stolen away again by Memorial. Now they've got numbers. It's Filbert who lays it in. Lead back to Memorial at 30-29 Crusaders. Half minute to go, and Bedford looking for the last laugh as they come left to right into the front court. As Brown looks to slow it down. Brown down the lane, bounce pass to the far wing. Coach Elmensdorf says bring it out. Clock down to about 15 seconds. Meanwhile, Moreno, right-hand dribble, little floater up and in from the free throw line.
Braden Moreno with a teardrop in the lane. Real pretty.
That was a teardrop. Down to 5 seconds. Memorial ball. They're on a 14-2 run, which dates back to the second quarter. Memorial goes inside to Ramage and missed it with the left hand. Rebound, Bedford. They want to go against pressure. They do it, and they break the press, and they score a layup at the other end. It's Jendrin from the near side block.
Yeah, and a nice feed by the captain right there, Ryan Hughes.
Jendrin and Hughes pacing the Bulldogs. Jendrin now with a team-high 8 points. The lead is 6. Memorial going to answer with a 3. Badly needed, and they're going to get it. It's Nick Philbrick, one of the tri-captains, freed himself up in the near corner to make it a 3-point game again, 36-30. Looks throughout that first half. Meanwhile, they force a miss. Comes from up top. Hughes with an 18-footer off target rebound. Memorial. Crusaders can tie here with a 3. Carrier on a step back. He's going to get just that. The senior claps his hands after knocking it down step back style. Memorial now has scored 6 unanswered, and we're tied at 36. Bedford again facing pressure. They break it right to left. They go inside to Jendrin, 1 dribble, up and under for 2 more.
Starting to really assert himself down low, running the baseline, little reverse layup. The big guy, Colby Jendrin.
The 6'7 junior. Now a steal near side and an uncontested lefty layup for Josh Keeler, the 6'3 senior who stepped in the passing lane. Back and forth we go. Bedford matching their largest lead from a moment ago at now 40-36. First team foul against Memorial. Crusaders now in a zone. Bedford going to swing it up top. Hughes steps into a 3 and knocks it down. He leaves the follow-through extension up in the air.
I was going to say the same thing. Hold the pose, Nick Anastas.
Oh, yeah.
Hold the pose.
A few Bedford fans who made the trip over retreating into a man-to-man. Meanwhile, Hayes skip past far side for Moreno. Thought about it. Now they'll reverse it. Good movement here. They go inside. Jendrin with the catch. Jendrin missed the finish. Maybe it was off balance a little bit there. Came up short. Rebound tipped out to Memorial. They want to run left to right. Ramage to the rim.
Wow.
Right hand finish. It's Balo, the senior.
He needed that. He's been missing some bunnies down low, and that time he did it with his opposite hand, his right hand. Little kiss off the window.
Crusaders, they've scored 4 unanswered, and they're back within 1 as Bedford's gone cold the last few minutes. 43-42, they still lead. Meanwhile, it's Bauer down the lane, little lefty finger roll.
Bauer's had some clutch minutes so far for the Dogs.
One over the front lip there for the big 6'7 Jendrin, who's in double figures, a team-high 10 points for Bedford. Lead is 4. Offensive foul against Memorial on
Brandon Scott.
Yep, and that's number 4. So the gamble doesn't pay off here as Coach Quirk sees his star, who came in at nearly 20 a game, pick up number 4, and he's going to have to jog off the floor as he rolls his eyes and slaps hands with the coaching staff.
He got a little bit off balance here at midcourt trying to handle the ball, and as he got off balance, he pushed off with his right hand, and the refs were right on that.
Comes with Memorial down by 4, 47-43. Down the lane, Moreno, wild off-balance shot. Offensive rebound. Jendrin right back up and in. Coach Elmendorf likes that. He jumps off the Bedford bench.
And Colby Jendrin likes it too. The big fella's asserting himself.
Into the lane, lost the ball. Tracked down by his teammate near side Hayes in front of a barking Coach Elmendorf, who says to slow it down. Meanwhile, the clock down to 10 seconds, third quarter, 49-43 Bedford. Up top, it's Hayes with the right-hand dribble. And he's picked up the dribble. He's double-teamed. He goes inside to Jendrin. Jendrin, a boom move to the rim, and he scores it off the glass with the right hand.
And that's what you talked about, Nick. You talked about him just pulling through defenders if they're not squared up. The big fella found himself a little crack in the defense and laid it in the second half. They're huge.
Lead back to 5 for Bedford at 54-49. Bulldogs, after trailing by as many as 11, led moments ago by as many as 10. They're going to steal it here as Memorial takes it away. They go up the floor and a big two-step finish by guess who? Brandon Scott, his first bucket since early in the second quarter. He's got a team high 14, and it's a one-possession game. Bedford leading by 3. Meanwhile, Bauer down the lane. Quick runner with the left hand. No, and then a whistle on the rebound attempt over the back coming against the Bulldogs. Some water or whatever it was, a spill, I guess, in that same spot. The official okay, and we resume. Meanwhile, 2 minutes gone, fourth quarter, 3 that could have tied it off target from Filbert, but offensive rebound for Memorial, pulled in by Santiago. They swing it right back to the near corner, and Filbert knocks it down. That's got the Memorial bench excited, and it's got our game tied at 54.
10 straight for the Crusaders. Filbert with some great minutes here in the second half.
These two teams tied in the standings at 7 and 3.
Look for Bedford to try to get the ball to the big fella, Colby Jendrin, down low. They've gone away from it the last 3 possessions.
Bulldogs trying to reclaim the lead. Meanwhile, Hughes tied up, and he lost it. Taken away by Filbert. Up ahead to Carrier. 2 big steps and a finish with the right hand.
Boy, these refs are letting them have those huge steps, aren't they?
They are. It's like the New York City playground right now. Meanwhile, 56-54. Memorial, their first lead of the second half. Offensive foul against Bedford. It's on Jendrin. That's number 3 against their leading scorer. He dipped that left shoulder into the smaller defender. Santiago draws the charge.
Great job by Santiago holding his ground, taking the big shot from Colby Jendrin, who did dip his shoulder and drop him.
Memorial, they want to keep the run going. They're up 2, 56-54 with the basketball, working left to right as Bedford sits back in a man-to-man. Meanwhile, a runner up and in. Beautiful off the ball cut by Rumraj, who took the pass from the near corner and finished off the window. The right hand was knocked to the ground as well, but no foul called. 58-54 now. Bedford going to cut back to 2 as they go to Jendrin on a long pass down the floor. The big fella now with 19 tonight, a game high, and Memorial's lead cut to 2 at 58-56.
A lot of fun.
Back and forth. Great pace tonight in our F&O winter game of the week. Meanwhile, Santiago all the way to the rim, uncontested for the layup. A breakdown there by the Bulldog defense.
The parting of the seas right there is Santiago with a finger roll down the lane.
The reserve guard with an easy one off the left hand. Meanwhile, Bedford goes to the rim. Runner miss. Jendrin, a second try, no.
Goodness.
Third try, no. Fourth try is a foul. Bulldogs can tie with a 3. They come into the front court, right to left. Hayes being harassed here near sideline by Santiago. Finally pulls it back out. He has Moreno on the far side wing. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Into the paint, Kohler, pass tipped and stolen at the free throw line by Memorial. They send it up ahead. It's Scott. Scott to the rim, left-hand finish.
Elevate, Brandon Scott.
Able to glide over 2 defenders to finish and put Memorial up 5, 62-57. 3 minutes to go. Well, Bedford is going to call a timeout to avoid the turnover here as Moreno was trapped just in front of us, just in front of
form of offense.
He's got a game-high 19 points. Coach Elmendorf on the near sideline here with the Bedford huddle, trying to offer some words of encouragement. His team trying to keep the win streak alive. They're going to have to do it from behind, trailing here 62-57. Jendrin, a wild spin move, but he got it to go with the right hand. With Bedford, a diving Santiago, the last to touch it from Memorial. He just jumped up and almost took a swing at his teammate there with a high five. He's all excited. Meanwhile, Bedford trying to score inside. They go to Jendrin, and he gets a little leaning scoop from the far block.
Showing me something. Showing me a lot, the big.
Goes quiet. Good crowd tonight, as we talked about. Meanwhile, the noise coming from the Bedford visiting section of the crowd. Didn't matter. 2-for-2 trip for the sophomore. And now Santiago with a steal. Going to go right to the rim, lay it in. He gives out a scream as he's knocked to the ground. 69-61. Against the Bedford guard. So, meanwhile, that consecutive free throw streak finally broken as Carrier missed the first, but he hits the second. So 74-66 Memorial up. Quickly, Jendrin to the rim and 1.
That was Moreno, Braden Moreno,
Right. Yep.
who fortunately got to stay in the game. Good for him because he went right down the lane.
Yeah.
A little bit of a rainbow off the window.
And the backboard. You don't see that often. The result, of course, is a jump ball, and Bedford going to get another break because they get a possession arrow. So the Bulldogs again will inbound from the near baseline. They loft it into the near corner. One dribble, three, up and in, finally. It's Hughes on a high arcer, and then off the inbound, Bedford forced to foul, stopping things with 18 seconds. Well, that one pretty well defended in the corner, didn't matter, as Ryan Hughes, the senior guard, one of the tri-captains, able to make this a one-possession game. 75-72. Memorial back to the line, though, with 18 seconds. One more for the lefty. He gets the roll.
They got to push it.
72. Bedford got to push. You're right. Moreno right to left down the lane. One. Scooper up and in. Covered a lot of ground there with a dribble. Clock continuing to move. 77-74. And Santiago is fouled off the inbound here in the near corner. Coach Elmendorf thought he was going to commit the foul himself. Ran down the end of the bench to make sure his team complied.
Made free throws, had a 5-point flurry.
Meanwhile, Coach, lost in the excitement. That was a foul on Jendrin, number 5. He is done and has checked out. Coach Elmendorf bringing Liam Green, 6'3" junior, into the game for the first time. Meanwhile, free throw is good by Santiago. And now a timeout is called by Memorial. Tonight, 7-2, tied for second in the standings. Memorial only a game back at 6-3.
These are two good basketball teams. I've seen a lot of teams in D1 this year, and these guys can play with anybody.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun tonight.
It's been a game of runs. Memorial by as many as 11 in the first half. Bedford came back, led by 1 at halftime, extended that lead in the third quarter to as many as 10 before Memorial has owned this fourth quarter. They lead here by 4. Free throw is missed, 78-74. Into the front court comes Bauer. Bauer to the rim, uncontested, lays it in with the left hand. And now a technical foul has been called as the horn sounds. The layup was good with about, 2 seconds to go. And I was saying the game is over.
They got a technical foul on the point guard, Justin Hayes.
Was it? Or was it that Bedford was out of timeouts and tried to call one? Well, I was trying to get a full explanation. We're still wondering what the T was about. Meanwhile, free throws are being shot. Technical free throws for Filbert of Memorial, who hits the first to make it 79-76. Second is good at 80-76, and now they say the game is over. So there was definitely a technical called as the game expires. 3 overall, and it spoils a pretty productive night for their big man, Colby Jendrin, the junior. Ended up with a game-high 26 points.
You know, I've had a chance to see him play a couple of times before, and this was the best I've seen Colby Jendrin play. He played inspired. He was fired up. He played like a big man should. Mm-hmm. He played physical. I thought he played an outstanding game. And moving forward, although this tough loss tonight for the Bulldogs and stops their win streak, moving forward for Colby Jendrin in Bedford, he used his 6'7" frame the way he's supposed to. I like both of these clubs. Really, as we start to think about who may be the teams that end up over in Durham later in the spring.
Certainly, you got to consider Pinkerton, who's ahead of everybody in D1 at 9-1 going into tonight. Of course, Merrimack is always tough at 7-2. Don't sleep on Central; they're 6-2. Exeter, of course, with Coach Holmes, 6-2. So a crowded Division I, and this one probably going to go a long way for the Crusaders, as they have now won 5 of 6. All right, I want to thank John Testy and our friends over at the New Hampshire Sports page. Laura Stelchuk doing a good job as always. Austin Smith, our statistician, doing a great job tonight. Brandon Stevens working hard as well. Ashling, a new addition to our ESPN New Hampshire team, working hard behind the scenes. Of course, want to thank Tom Dolan here at Memorial, along with Mr. Adamakis for hooking us up here courtside, doing a great job and making it easy for us to just kind of slide in and do our thing. All right, let's go back to our Merchants Auto studio for